Pugh. That'll do it! That will do it! Pugh for Bournemouth! The roof of the Gold Sands is raised! Everyone here knows what that could mean to this football.
Hello, good evening, Bournemouth fans. Hope you're doing all right. It's Friday night, and whilst the Premier League season starts tonight, it's just less than an hour away. For AFC Bournemouth, this is going to be our third competitive match in this season 21-22, and we're playing the former back-to-back European champions, Nottingham Forest. You say it like that, and it sounds really impressive, doesn't it? Yet Forest, they're a team that were relegated from the Premier League in 1999. And have struggled to get back ever since. They're a team with history, the stadium, the fan base, but on the pitch in the last 23 years, they've rarely delivered. So is this their season? Well, tomorrow, Cherries fans travel up to the City Ground. The squad, though, they're there already as they touch down at East Midlands Airport this afternoon. If you're going to the game, give this video a thumbs up or pop a thumbs up in chat. But remember, this is your show tonight. So if you want to take part, you can see the link at the top of the screen. It's afcbpodcast.com/take part. So grab some headphones, plug them into your device, and we'll bring you in ASAP. We'll make sure this show is done by the start of the Premier League curtain raiser on Sky Sports tonight. Good luck to Brentford in that one. So come along, bring your best Forest trivia, and we'll get through as many of you to talk about tomorrow's match against the Tricky Trees, a nickname which I didn't really have a clue that was their nickname. Did you? Anyway, yesterday, Scott Parker spoke to the media, and this is what he had to say. So, yeah, he spoke to the media and started talking about his own injury last week, where he told Neil Perrott from AFC Bournemouth that his elbow's fine after he was taken out unintentionally by a West Brom player. Well, in fact, it was a combination of players, really. But he said that he only needed a couple of paracetamol and think he landed on his funny bone, but he's all good. In terms of the AFCB team news, we'll bring that to you very, very shortly. But he said in terms of the championship, well, it's going to be another roller coaster ride this season. He went on to say that there's lots of ups, there's lots of downs, and it's why everyone loves it. The most consistent teams are going to thrive. In terms of Nottingham Forest, it's early days, but we're facing a team with an experienced manager and we need to be prepared. We know what a Chris Hughton team looks like. They're organised and they're very diligent. And he knows, well, to Forest, of course, how important it is to get back to the Premier League. But that's the same as AFC Bournemouth. So what's happening with us? Well, the Cherry squad is slowly returning to full fitness, although it remains to be seen whether there will be any new players available. The good news is that Dan Juma is training with the group. Whether he'll ever play again, we don't know. So he's on the grass. That's a real positive. With Steve Cook, it's the same as well. He's back with the group, albeit he's modified his training. He's not going to be available to play, though. Junior Stanislas, though, it wasn't as bad an injury as first thought, and he's already on the grass running again. He says that this weekend probably comes a little bit too soon. Leif Davis, again in training, but probably a bit too soon. However, Jack Stacey could be the one that could return. Last week, it was touted that he might. He didn't, but maybe this is the one. Ben Pearson also is not going to be available for this one. If Jack Stacey plays, I think we know what's going to happen on that left side, don't we? It's going to be Adam Smith that probably comes in over Jordan Zamora. What's your thoughts? Let us know in chat. And remember, at the top of the screen is the link that you need to go to. We'll bring you guys in the next 5-6 minutes. But before that, we need to hear from our opposition. So in terms of Nottingham Forest, the Cherries have yet to register a victory at the City Grounds. We've drawn 4 and lost 4 of the last 8 visits to the East Midlands, including a 0-0 stalemate last season. Now, Forest, they had a challenging pre-season, forced to cancel their final 2 friendlies against Villa and Burnley due to COVID-related issues. So it wasn't the best start, and that was compounded by their 2-1 loss to Coventry. Ex-Cherries player Lyle Taylor opened the scoring, but the Sky Blues hit back to claim the 3 points. However, they did manage to win by the same scoreline 2-1 over Bradford City in the first round of the Carabao Cup on Wednesday. We'll talk later on about the players to look out for, but earlier in the season, we spoke to Daniel Storey, the chief football writer from the iPaper, who gave us his view on Nottingham Forest this season. Plus, he also gave us his opinion on the desperation for teams once relegated, including Bournemouth, of course, to get back to the top flight.
No, I don't think so. I think the club kind of needs to push forward on a kind of this new sustainable approach. We've got the Barnsley CEO. I hope this is going to be a season of building. I think we're significantly, in terms of squad strength, we're significantly below Bournemouth and the relegated clubs, and probably a couple more teams too. But I'd take a kind of 7th, 8th push on for the playoffs the last couple of months of the season, I think. The $1 million question is what they can do with any sort of momentum. Over the last few years, that's been Forest's Achilles heel, apart from sacking managers, and the first generally leads to the second, is that they've just been such a bitty team that can go away from home and play really well, and then 4 days later can get outclassed at home. They've had no momentum. They've had no kind of continuity between performances, and that's the one thing we were led to expect that Chris Hughton would try and enforce. And let's make no bones about it. If Forest are in the bottom half again with come November, December, January, there will again be rumours about another manager being sacked, because that is what Forest do. The best appointment of the summer has been the new CEO. Has been getting someone in that's got some championship experience, although he's still very young, but has implemented a plan successfully at another club, and with no disrespect to Barnsley, a smaller club than Forest, but one that did far better things than Forest and had their league position pure on merit. Forest, for years and years, and I probably said exactly the same to you at the start of last season, is that Forest have been living under this kind of half arrogance, half complacency that the name of the club and the history of the club actually means anything in the Championship anymore, and quite frankly, it doesn't, and hasn't for some time. The quicker we rid ourselves of that and try and do things via a meritocracy, both within the squad, within picking managers, not picking on names but picking on class, they will never move forward sustainably. I hope they found the right guy, but you never know with Forest. We could be sat here in 6 months' time and we've got a new manager and we're targeting 4 or 5 new players in the January transfer window, because, as I say, that's what we do. I think there is a separation to make, a deliberate separation between fans and club. I think as long as a club knows where it's at and knows that everything will be now achieved on merit, and that there are no easy passes, and that you don't win games in the Championship because you were in the Premier League last season, or 2, 3 years, or 3 years, or, as you rightly point out, 22 years ago with Forest. I think that's fine as long as the club knows. I would never tell a supporter how to feel. Forest fans are infamous for the harking back to glory days, and I've no doubt that it has dragged back the club from time to time and may well continue to do so. But I could never blame a supporter for dreaming about the past or for wanting the good times to come again. I mean, Forest have been in League One far more recently than they've been in the Premier League, so we have no right to be anything. But the truth is that, for example, with Forest, if you surveyed fans of 100 fans of Premier League clubs and asked them to pick an ideal Premier League, then Forest might well be in it because of historic reasons, but doesn't mean anything anymore. It might make supporters feel happy. It might make me feel jealous that I wasn't there to see it, but it doesn't mean anything in 2021 or indeed in 2001 in Forest's terms. So I think as long as the club are on the right page, and I think Bournemouth, I think maybe we're halfway between the two last season. I think that they realistically thought they had a good shot of going up, and they did, because coming down from the Premier League with the parachute payments is the best time to go back up. So I think that there was no arrogance there. I think there was a belief and an expectation that you would be in the mix, and you were in the mix. But as that time goes on, I think a club has to kind of reset itself and just work out where it needs to be. And I, these are clever people at clubs. I'm sure that they are on the right page. I'm sure they now realise, and I'm sure they will be hammering down to the players, because I know Jeff said there were a few players who maybe thought they were either above their level or that this would be easier to achieve than staying in the Premier League. Maybe. Well, it isn't. It's an absolute slog, and every season there are clubs that pay the price for not realising that early enough.
Brilliant. So that was Daniel Storey, and you can see the full interview on the Press Pass. Just go to the Press Pass playlist. Right, I think it's time to get your views in. And firstly, we've got John Spark, Keefy T, and Morgan Scott coming in. Good evening, guys. John, how are you?
I'm doing good, thanks, Sam. How are you?
Yeah, very well, thank you, mate. Keefy T's here. Keith, you all right?
Yeah, not too bad, Sam. Not too bad at all.
Morgan Scott, there's a happy face. You all right?
Yeah, all good, thanks, mate.
Yeah, big game tomorrow. Big game, interesting game, historic club. John, how you feeling?
I'm feeling relatively confident. I think on my sort of match prediction, I've got us down as a draw, but that's only because I know that if I predict a win, we definitely won't win. So I think we've got a chance, certainly got a decent chance of nicking this game, or doing more than that. It's really not clear at the moment what Nottingham Forest are necessarily going to bring to the match entirely, because of how their match went against Coventry, and then you look at their midweek game, which they won, with a few changes. I think there were a couple of youngsters that apparently caught the eye of a few fans that might end up getting some starts in this game. So they could well end up changing their formation a little bit. I think the thing that should be positive for us is to look at how much they faded against Coventry, because they ended up having a number of preseason games cancelled, and their fitness definitely showed at the end of that game. We've also had a whole week's rest. They haven't. We're probably going to end up with exactly the same 11. They're probably not. There's definitely reason to be positive, and I think Bournemouth have shown so far in the way that Parker Ball is, in the way that we played what we deem probably Parker Ball is, we've got enough to win this game without a doubt. It's just how defensive are Nottingham Forest going to be? How much are they going to prevent us from, making the kinds of underlapping runs that we've made over the last few games? And can we break down a solid defence, which we haven't really had to do that yet against Chelsea, Malaga, and West Brom. So we'll see.
Yeah, we'll talk about ones to watch a bit later on, because I'm sure you've got a plethora of Forest players, or maybe a couple that you might want us to take a look at, John. But Keefy T, travelling to Forest, they're a club that's steeped in history, albeit for the last 22 years they've done nothing. I mean, there's us being really impatient and not getting put back in the Premier League first time of asking. They've had 22 years. How must they feel?
They must be feeling pretty gutted. I mean, they do have a tendency to live in the past as well. A number of clubs do, and we should be cautious about reliving glory days rather than focusing on the now. So I thought your commentator that you had on previously, who writes for The Athletic, I think,
Daniel Storey. Yeah, he's also for the iPaper as well. Yeah. I thought he was pretty good summarising Forest. Really strange ownership. I know they've got their new CEO, and hopefully he'll bring some stability, but they've been a very, very strange club for quite a while, and I wonder if their finances are not exactly in tip-top shape either. So we'll see. But it'll be tough tomorrow, but I'm quite confident with the lads. How are you feeling, Morgan? You've taken in that 5-0 victory against MK Dons. You've seen the highlights of that. You've also seen that 2-2 against West Brom. We're going into a team that we don't really know how they're going to play tomorrow. But what are your thoughts as Cherries travel to Forest tomorrow?
I think what's really interesting is something I saw on Twitter. The only player that we currently have in our squad ahead of tomorrow's game is Adam Smith. Yeah. That was the last when we played there the last time, and it was a draw, wasn't it? If I'm correct.
Yeah, 0-0. That's right. It wasn't the best of games. Yeah, that's right.
It wasn't the best of games. I think it was broadcast on Sky, if I remember rightly. But yeah, Adam Smith is the only current member. I think it's going to be Chris Hughton. He's always quite defensive, and I just hope that we have enough to break them. I think they're on the right. Johnson, I think his name is, might cause us a few problems. But I think we might prove in the attacking third a little bit too much. So I'm thinking that we might just nick it by a couple of goals to 1.
Yeah, Brennan Johnson. And it's a player that John Spark, lots of people seem to be having in their one to watch. Is that the same for you?
Well, certainly tomorrow, very definitely. I mean, and when you consider that he's going down the right, and I think it's pretty likely at this point that it's Zamora that's going to be playing at left back. I know there's a chance that it could be Smith that's put over to the left-hand side, but I think I saw a tweet from someone saying that he saw Stacey leave separately to the rest of the team today, similarly to Lewis Cook. And obviously, we've since seen pictures of them arriving by plane in the Nottingham area. So if Stacey didn't travel on the coach, then he's probably not involved in the squad, which means it's Zamora again at left back. But the pace is obviously he's got enough pace to deal with a fast winger like Johnson. But we know that Zamora's weakness is his defending. So that's the worry when you've got a bright, young, tricky winger that's already shown that he's got enough quality to put the ball exactly where Taylor needs it to be to score against Coventry. That's a bit of a worry. And he's certainly one to watch in this game. But I think Coventry did pretty well, although they have a 3-man defence. They did relatively well at shutting Nottingham Forest down for the large parts of the game, particularly in the last half an hour because they'd already run out of steam. But obviously we play with a back 4 as opposed to Coventry's back 3, which it's difficult to deal with a 4-2-3-1 and a back 3 because of the attacking wingers, and you're not sure who necessarily needs to pick him up. So we should do relatively well. And I saw, just in terms of one to watch, I saw someone post up if we're going to see Harry Arter. No chance. Harry Arter hasn't featured for Nottingham Forest in the entirety of the second half of their season. He's not really anywhere on Chris Hughton's radar. I'm sure he'll be out of Forest by the end of for him, I hope he's out of Forest by the end of this transfer window. But yeah, he's not going to be playing tomorrow.
No, that's right. So, Keefe, how much do you think they're going to be targeting Jordan Zamora? Because obviously when a young lad comes in, I thought he was quite shaky in the first half, but he really grew into it against West Brom. Do you think he's a player that they're going to, try to stick it on him?
Yeah, I expect so. I mean, if they're assuming that we're going to be playing the same squad, of course, you want to target all your inexperienced players. You're going to target Kilkenny as well in the middle of the park. Houghton's no mug in that. But what I like about Zamora, and yes, he's got to learn the defensive side of the game, but they all have to start from somewhere, is he brings that much-needed energy on that left-hand side that we didn't get last season. So I like him going forward, and if we're going to play positive football, I'd rather have that someone who's going to bring something to the table going forward than in an ideal world you want the perfect fullback, but I'd rather have that than somebody who's going to sit back and consequently could also make mistakes as well, or play that little bit deeper. So I think there's much to be cautiously optimistic, but Houghton is Houghton, and he'll play his wily old games, and he'll sit them deep, and he'll get them organised, and all the cliches regarding how he plays. And we've just got to see what we can do. And hopefully our Danish double is going to do the business for us again tomorrow.
He's a player that a lot of people have been talking about as being possibly man of the match material. Morgan, Emi Marcondes, what have you made of his start to his Bournemouth career?
I think firstly, he's just fantastic in lots of different ways. We were actually talking Cherries last night about him being maybe the new. Well, he's never going to be a different player, but like the social media of Mark Pugh, he's getting involved in a lot of engagement on social media. I think I saw something on Twitter with him meeting Steve Butler for the Ugandan Cherries yesterday, a little signed shirt, and he just seems generally a nice guy. I think he replied to a shirt. Someone put a shirt on earlier, and he had nice, great shirt. And it's just nice to see that enthusiasm into. He's obviously a great player on the pitch, but off the pitch, he's already setting up a very high reputation, and I think he's going to be loved by all Cherry fans the way he's going so far. And he's only a few weeks into his Cherries career. Sorry, Sam.
You're right. You're absolutely right. I mean, look. I mean, like Tyrone Mings didn't have many minutes in a Bournemouth shirt, and when he did, he was indifferent. Jordan Ibe was no different, but there's a difference. Tyrone Mings was articulate and he communicated with fans on social media, and he didn't leave with that kind of stain that Jordan Ibe did. And you know what, he's certainly putting the groundwork in early, I've got to say. And yeah, looking really good. And the Danish double were on form last week. We're going to switch it up very shortly, but before we do, John, you're going tomorrow, aren't you?
I am really looking forward to it. Yeah, I'm going to be taking the train down from Manchester.
Yeah,
get there at a decent time to meet up with a bunch of others. I'm pretty sure I'll be seeing you early on, Sam, at a pub or something like that.
Well done.
So yeah, I can't wait, and it's going to be very different away day experience for me, having been involved with you lot and meeting people, actually planning to actually meet people at the ground ahead of time rather than getting there for 2 to 3 and leaving at 5 o'clock. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to that, and and being able to see some of the players like more up close, actually focus on Mark Condes is a player I'm going to be focusing on all match basically, because I've had a few different opinions from plenty of different podcasts, sort of, and different people on here that have mentioned Mark Condes. Some have really praised the way that he works on the pitch, and because I wasn't focusing on him over the last few games, I've not really sort of caught all the small things that you only see when you're actually at the match and you can focus on them and you're not dragged across by the moving of the TV cameras. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to that, and just got all fingers crossed for a great away day.
Yeah, I'm really excited. It's my first away day for a long time. The last one I did was the last away day we had at Liverpool, and you know what? I just love everything about it. It's not just the football; it's everything that goes around it. Even travelling up, because like the motorways are like arteries, and football fans are like the blood that just flow through it. And you see them in service stations and loads of different shirts piling in, and just that, I don't know. You just feel the atmosphere early on, and that's what I really love. John, can I have an early prediction from you?
Oh, I'm gonna go with 2-1 Bournemouth.
That's what I like to hear. Keefy T, what are you thinking?
Yeah, I'll go the same.
Love it. By the way, Keith, have you got your mug yet?
No.
It's coming tomorrow. I did post it. I promise.
No worries. No.
Someone's got theirs today, so you'll get yours very soon. I promise.
Have you still got stock of those, Sam? Have you still got stock?
Yeah. There are. It was new stock now arrived at last. Yeah, for once. 2-1 then. Morgan, what are you going for?
I already said, but I'll back it at full house. I'm going to go 2-1 Bournemouth.
2-1. Excellent. Morgan, thanks very much for coming on. Really appreciate it.
Very good. Thank you very much. Maybe see you outside the Vitality next Saturday.
Will do. Looking forward to it. Thanks very much. That's Morgan. John, nice to see you, and see you tomorrow, hopefully.
Yep. See you tomorrow, Sam.
Cool. Will do. And also Keefy T. Cheers, buddy.
I'll see you next Saturday.
Will do. Looking forward to it, mate. Cannot wait. Bring your mug. Absolutely promise. Cheers, Keefy T. Right, so we're going to bring in Aaron Kay very shortly, but before we do so, I think, where is he? There he is. Let's bring him on now. Aaron, how are you, buddy?
Yeah, I'm very good. How are you doing, Sam?
Yeah, very well. We've got Marky Masters in the house. Marky Masters, how are you, buddy?
Aaron, evening, Sam. We all good?
You all right, Mark?
Yeah, we're very good. Also, we got Jeremy in North Carolina here as well. Jeremy, how are you?
I'm doing great, man. It's good to be back on. It's good to see you guys.
Nice to see you for 21-22. Looking forward to a brand new season. Right then, Aaron, will come to you first. You're going tomorrow, aren't you?
I am, yeah. First game for 18 months, so I am buzzing for it. Absolutely buzzing for it, yeah.
Yeah. Are you excited? Are you nervous? What's the feeling that's going through your head?
Just excited. I think, I'm not really nervous at this stage of the season. I just can't wait to get in the ground again. Saying to my boys earlier that, obviously we want to win, and once come the game, obviously we'll be, praying for that. But I'm feeling quite bright about it. I think, concurring with people who've come before, I think Houghton's teams, as they say, will certainly sit deep. It's not going to be pretty football. They'll be quite physical, probably come out quite black and blue at the end of it. But I think ultimately, what I do think is important, I think we'll be able to impose our game more on them than we were able to against West Brom, because West Brom obviously were The experts are doing what we're trying to do, the high press. I can't see Nottingham Forest doing that. And with some of our young guns and red hot form, I think I'm feeling quite confident, to be honest with you. Yeah.
Brilliant. Now, Marky Masters, I always get concerned when we play in a kit that's the same colour as the grass. But what are you thinking about this brand new shirt that we got? Are you liking it?
Isn't it awful?
Oh, do you think? Oh, I don't know. 62% like it, according to a poll that we put out.
What do you think, Aaron?
What do you think? I'm not a fan at all. I've never been a fan of green strips, simply for the reason that a lot of teams have failed in them before, because it's just very hard to pick out from your vision. So that's what worries me necessarily.
However, I have to say one thing. I was watching this Spurs Ajax Champions League semi-final highlights on BT. I don't know why, but it came up on my recommended, and they were wearing green that night, and it was the same colour as the pitch. So, they couldn't use that excuse because they won 3-2 on the night. But Marky, you're not a fan of this kind of camouflage thing, then, no?
Mate, I'm not. It makes a nice Christmas present, doesn't it? It's novelty, isn't it? So all of us watching, whoever wants a green kit, come on, we know what we wear. No one wants to be like, because when you walk it, no one wants to be walking into the Weatherspoons in town with that on, do they? All your street cred goes out the blimmin' door, boys and girls, eh? Don't give me all this, everyone. I sound like I'm like Adrian Durham now, aren't I?
You do.
Doesn't sit on the fence. He just says it's rubbish, and he said he mean. I'm not a fan. Let's move on.
All right. Well, anyway, that's the kit we're going to be in. And Jeremy, you're not a fan either.
Not really. But I say if you're going to do a green kit, you might as well go back to the early 70s with a green and black stripe kit. I think that's a good looking kit. But this one, not at all. It's kind of a puke green, and I'm not a fan of it. But
cactus. It's cactus, apparently.
Listen, I hate the color orange. So as long as we don't go to orange, I'm good to go. So
yeah. Oh, that's okay. So, mate, you're in the States. You're in North Carolina. How's your TV coverage looking like this season of AFC Bournemouth? Is it going to be all right?
It's not great. It's about the same. I mean, I can go through the AFCB TV again. I was able to catch the West Brom game last weekend. But it's not great. It's still pretty difficult. If we were in the Premier League again, it's much easier. But that's all right. I'll find it.
Good. So, Forest, they're called the Tricky Trees. Are they going to be tricky tomorrow, Aaron, or do you think Bournemouth should have enough?
I think we'll have enough. I mean, I was reading Houghton's pre-match thoughts, and it looks like they've got a problem at centre-back. So Worrell, their best defender's still out tomorrow, and their new defender getting off injured last week against Coventry. So they got two sort of second choice defenders. I know they brought in the kid Osei Tutu from Arsenal, who's lightning quick. I know he was at Cardiff last season, had a whole host of injuries. So we've got to keep an eye on him. And I think Lewis, sounds like Lewis Graven's certainly available. He's out of isolation. Whether he plays tomorrow or starts is another thing, but I would obviously worry about him and Taylor up front. We're in quite a kind of grey area of our kind of season, because as you said before, we've got so many players who sound like on the verge of coming back, but not quite ready for tomorrow. There's a whole host of 5 or 6 or even 7 of them who either, if not for Birmingham, certainly for Blackpool, will be available again. So it's kind of a really sort of odd feeling at the moment. But I don't necessarily think that I have any problems with the starting 11 tomorrow. Jordan Zamora potentially defensively slightly concerns me. The issue is, again, we've got nobody on the bench ready to come on and make any difference. And I think, getting those players back will be key. And I do hope Gavin Kilkenny gets a bit of support tomorrow. I think, as I said, the way we play with Emmy and Billing in that front two, behind those front three, I think we're going to cause a lot of problems. Coventry got in behind them on endless times last week, and we're a better team than Coventry. I just worry potentially for us if Gavin Kilkenny's up against Yates and Colback maybe could be outnumbered in there if the other two don't get back and help him. I'm confident. I am confident. I don't think we'll lose the game tomorrow. It's just whether we can nick it, and I think we will.
Excellent. Marky, are you a big fan of an away day?
Love it. My family, a lot of them living up in Yorkshire. So I'm quite jealous of you guys making a little trip tomorrow. So all Yorkshire games. So, knickers, knackers, knockers. I'll be there for the Barnsley game. and Huddersfield. So we do well with northern teams, don't we? We do. It's a good league for away days and a good old travel up the M1 this season. So you must be looking forward to it, Sam.
Yeah, very much so. Very much so. It's a ground that I've not been to for a long time. I'm very much looking forward to it. Jeremy, before you go, because I know you're travelling, score prediction for tomorrow. Go on, hit me with it.
I'm going to go 2-0. I was a little disappointed in last weekend just about how we were manhandled out there on the pitch. We just seem to be – we lack some physicality I think we're going to need if Parker's going to want to continue to play the way he's going to want to play. And so but I think 2-0. I'm excited. It's so good to be back. Good to see you guys. Always appreciate your stuff here, Sam. It's very good for us over here across the pond.
Amazing. I was about to say, as an American, does it take every muscle in your body to say 2-0 rather than 2-0?
It does, right. It would be 2-0 in the South here. So we say 2-0.
2-0.
And we also call it a field, not a pitch. And we call it a highway, not a, what do you guys call it? A parkway or freeway?
Motorway.
Motorway.
There you go. Yeah, exactly.
What is this?
I don't know, man. So anyway, good to see you guys. Take care, right?
Take care.
Yeah, take care. Cheers, Jeremy. Nice to see you, buddy. And if you are like Jeremy and you're watching abroad or even an exile in the UK, all you need to do, if you want to submit your match opinion, you can do so with your mobile phone. Chris Edwards did last week. Give you more details on how to do that at the end of the show. Aaron, looking forward to seeing you tomorrow. Prediction then?
Yeah, I'm also going to go for 2-1. I think we're always likely to concede, but I do think we'll have enough. As long as we take our chances, I think we'll definitely create them, and hopefully Dom puts them away and we can get a result. But yeah, can't wait to see you tomorrow. And yeah, an away day, just absolutely buzzing. Cannot wait. And see you up there. Yeah.
Bring your best A game because we'll be vlogging it, Aaron. So yeah. We'll see you later on. Take care. And Marky, I'll give you two predictions because it looks like you're not alone. So go on. And are you going to go for the first prediction?
I'm going to go nil. No, you can't do that. We're going to be going all up 4-0, are we, kids?
4-0.
It's going to be free. You guys are going to have safe journey up north to the Midlands, and then it's going to be champagne all the way. So when you have that KFC or that McDonald's or whatever in that service station tomorrow evening, it's going to taste so sweet, everybody.
Cannot wait. You know what? That's a meme. I'm going to meme that and tweet that because that's what away days are all about. Other fast food outlets are available. Marky Masters, thank you, sir.
Have a lovely weekend. Safe travels. Have a good weekend, everybody. Wave!
Will do. Cheers. Thank you very much. And as Kerry says, Marky Masters, hilarious. What a guy. What a performer. Right. Liam Humby is here. Liam, hello, mate. How are you, buddy? You all right?
Yeah, good, thanks.
Loving that shirt. You know what? On reflection, me and Tom, because we did a kit video and we went to the club shop. I said, well, you buy one kit and then I'll buy another. And he said, well, I quite like the white one. So I said, okay, I'll buy the red. Oh, I wish I had that one now. I wish I had that one because I think it looks really good.
I went over the shop today to get the green one. So I've got all three now.
Oh my, you got all three?
Yeah.
Love it. Some people have said that if you wear the camouflage one, like all they can see is just a floating head, but that's not the case, right? What are your thoughts now that you've seen it in the flesh?
It's nice.
You do like it?
Yeah.
And are you a person that tends to have a name and number on the back, or do you just leave it blank, or what?
Not really a name and number. In case they leave.
What about Humby? Humby 9 or something? Because you'll never leave AFC Bournemouth, right? Oh, love it. All right, we're also going to fill this chat up with Kirk, who's here as well. Kirk, how are you?
Not too bad. Kirk. How you doing? How you doing, Liam?
Good, thanks.
And also we've got AFCB John, who's out and about on his headphones. Hello, John. How are you?
Hey, John.
All right. Can you hear me okay?
I can. You're going on your evening power walk, are you?
Yeah, just walking my dogs for the evening. Yeah, how is everyone?
Yeah, very good. Your audio's slightly muffled because it's on Bluetooth, but it doesn't matter. We can live with it. It's all good. So don't worry about changing it up. Kirk, you looking forward to tomorrow, mate?
Well, I'm not going for personal reasons, unfortunately, so I thought I'd show my face. But it's going to be a great day out, hopefully, for those fans on the road for the first time in 18 months. And hopefully we get a result, Sam.
yeah, hopefully we do. And what are your expectations? Can we get a result? Will we get a result?
So what I'm seeing and hearing coming out of Forest, I'm quite quietly confident about this game. The first goal, obviously, always big and will be big in this game, because I think if Forest score first, then the inner Chris Hughton might come out and he'll probably ask us to break that Forest team down. But I think if we score early, inside 20 minutes, I like scoring a goal inside 20 minutes, I think we'll comfortably win this game without being disrespectful. It's quite a nice game. I'm actually more worried about the game after this one, but let's get this job done first, and then move on.
Which players have you highlighted as being the ones to watch, mate?
From a Forest point of view?
Yes, yeah.
So it looks like this Alex Mighton, I think his name is a pretty nippy character, and he's a sort of one that they're going to look to. And if Lyle Taylor plays, although I've seen him potentially being linked with other clubs, I think this game comes too quick for Lewis Graben. I think he's had some isolation problems, and obviously they've got players like Joe Lolly, who started the game last week but played on the bench in the week in the Carabao Cup. He's definitely got a good left foot in him from set pieces and from inside play. And I think Carvalho got 2 goals in the Carabao Cup against Bradford in the week as well. So, they have got players potentially with 20 plus fans in the stadium as well. There's an opportunity they could do something. But again, you can say that they might have the 12th man. I think we'll also have a decent man behind us in the away end as well.
Yes, agreed. Liam, then we're gonna swap it up because Dan is standing by. Let's have a prediction for tomorrow's game, then, mate.
I'm going 3-1. Bournemouth.
Thank you. I just needed that confirmation. Thank you, sir. Appreciate that. Liam, thanks for coming on, mate.
All right.
And by the way, how many CDs have you got behind you, mate? That's
yeah.
That is incredible. What a collection, Liam. Thanks for coming on. Really appreciate it. Right, John, we're going to unmute you, mate, because we could hear all the footsteps as you walked. You might just need to unmute yourself now, and then we should be able to hear you. By the way, every time I see you, you look like Ibsen Rossi.
That might be better.
Yeah, there we go. Right, thoughts
Even
about
more
tomorrow
the
then? You've been to a couple of home games. Obviously, it'd be nice if you were going tomorrow. Are you looking to get to some away games?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know which ones yet. Obviously, we've got me and Heather have got a point for the Norwich game. Obviously, that's Carabao Cup, but yeah, we've got a point for that, and yeah, really, I think that's going to be a great experience seeing that as an away day out. Obviously, like I say, it's not the league, but and it's Norwich as well. I mean, it seems to always be a cracker when we play Norwich. But in terms of league away games, not too sure yet, but just keep our eyes peeled, and hopefully we're still deciding on Blackpool because of work and stuff. So yeah, just hoping to get to see some more games. And how are you feeling? Obviously, you're going tomorrow, Sam, and
yeah, really looking forward to it. And you know what? I kind of haven't really thought about the football yet. I've just thought about everything that surrounds it. Being an away game, bumping into people at the service station, having a couple of beers at the pub beforehand. No, really looking forward to it. Looking forward to the journey, looking forward to getting there, looking forward weirdly, like I said to Neil Dawson in the last Second Look show, is the sound of opposition fans, and they're going to be loud tomorrow, and they're going to be trying to get behind their boys. And if they take the lead,
yeah, I think especially after the Coventry game as well.
Yeah,
they're really going to be ramped up to get to push them on. Well, look, my prediction's probably a bit crazy, but yeah, 3-0.
3-0.
3-0.
Well, you know what? I hope that's the case, and I hope that we quieten them down quick, because you know what? The last time we played in front of a sizable crowd was at Liverpool, and when they cheered on their first goal, the noise it's a horrible sound, and we haven't had that yet, and this is our first away game. We don't want the crowd to give them the impetus. John, thanks very much for coming on. If that 3-0 happens, mate, I love it.
Thank you, mate. Enjoy the day.
See you later, John.
Hope your post-match podcast is good. Look forward to seeing that.
Thank you, buddy. Really
appreciate
it.
Good to see you too, mate.
See you later, mate.
Cherries, everyone. See ya.
Cheers.
Up the cherries. Cheers, buddy. Really appreciate it. Right. What are your predictions? Let us know. But Kirk, before we go, we're going to bring Dan on, your Cherries Red Army colleague, and he's going to go through the chosen 11. So what is your prediction for tomorrow, mate?
Well, this might surprise a few because obviously I think we've got a weak link in our goalkeeper. But I think if we score inside the first 20 minutes tomorrow, we'll win 2-0. And that's what I'm going
2-0.
for. Yeah.
And there's been a lot of talk about Travers, and we sort of, I wouldn't say we did it to death on the podcast show on the second look, but it is still a concern for you, right? And a lot of people have been really wanting Travers to go out and have some experience, but he's the man that we can have. And to be honest, it looks like Freddie Woodman is going to be used this weekend due to various issues. So, I don't know if that's, I think that's as good as dead anyway. But do you feel as though that's still an issue that we need to get resolved?
And Scott Parker keeps highlighting it. So for the reassurance, I think we will do something. And I can't imagine that Woodman is the only name on the list, but he is probably top of that list. And if they can get him, they'll probably want to get him. So but I'm sure there's other names on there. Yeah, I just don't have enough confidence, unfortunately, in Travers over 46 games. Every keeper will make mistakes. Of course they will. Even the best keepers we've had at the club have made mistakes. But he doesn't really command the area. He doesn't have that strength. And I think teams already have seen that in pre-season, and West Brom definitely targeted that. And that might come with time and growth and getting a good, decent loan out in the Football League, in maybe League One or League Two. We highlighted it last week, didn't we? It did Ramsdale no issues, and it improved Ramsdale as a goalkeeper. I'm still not convinced, that Travers can get to those sort of heights of maybe the top Championship. I still think maybe he's a bottom half Championship goalkeeper or below, but we're only going to find out once he gets decent experience. So we'll keep going with Travers because we haven't got another choice. But I'm sure before the end of the transfer window, we will have another goalkeeper in place for the rest of the season.
Brilliant. Kirk, thanks very much for coming on, mate. Really appreciate it.
Enjoy your day, all the fans, and yourself, Sam. Can't wait.
Cheers. Thank you very much. Really appreciate it. That is Kirk Tovey. Right. I suppose it's time to go through the chosen 11 then, isn't it? So let's do it. And it's Dan who's with us today to do that. You get the accolade, Dan. How are you, buddy?
I wasn't expecting this. Yeah, I'm good. How are you?
Star treatment, like unexpected. Yeah, very, very well. Thank you. How's your week been?
Been buzzing for this game. Obviously going to go to it, which will be good. Meet a few people. I'm sure it'll be good.
Yes.
Like there's a lot of people we've been saying it's obviously a Bournemouth game, which is great. I've only ever been to one previous away game against Palace when we played Palace and we won with an Afobe header, I think it was. Yeah, great game that was. And but yeah, just something that was probably one of my best games I've ever been to, just for the experience of like you sort of have. It's like, I don't know, you have. It's obviously you love a home game because you got the home support behind you. But there's something about being in that small section with the Bournemouth fans. You're all together chanting the whole game. It's brilliant.
Yeah, it really is. Now, if you are traveling up tomorrow, there's plenty of places where you can go. There's a couple of pubs south of the Trent that are being recommended. However, if you're starting in the city centre like we're doing, this is a map of Nottingham. Bloody hell, look at this. Google Maps is here. Right, so the one of the popular pubs in the middle of your screen, Ye Old Trip to Jerusalem. I know a number of Cherries fans are getting there from about 11:30 early, but that's what people are doing. And then just a 5-minute walk away, you've also then got the Canal House, which is also really popular too. So that's another one that you may wish to go to. En route to the Broken Wheelbarrow, which is at Notts County, there is a Hooters bar if you wish to go there, but a lot of people are going straight to the Broken Wheelbarrow before the game at Meadow Lane, Notts County Stadium, and it's actually just across the river from there. So there's a bridge across, and there it is. They're actually very close to each other. They're the closest clubs professionally in England. I think it's like 300 yards between them. In Scotland, it's Dundee and Dundee United, which you could literally throw a stone from one ground to the other. But that's your sort of pub guide. Just make sure you get to the stadium within good time, because obviously there will be pat downs and checks and all that kind of stuff. So you want to make sure you get in there quick as a flash. Now, are you pretty sure what your chosen 11 is tomorrow, Dan, or have you got any kind of things in your head that you're thinking?
I think that it's going to be relatively similar. I think that Stacey's, it's a late call on Stacey, if I remember reading correctly. So it might be a case of we chuck Smithy at left back and Stacey right back, if that's the case. If not, then it might be pretty much the same 11. And yeah, it'll be, if it is the same 11 and Stacey isn't back and we have Zamora at left back, it'll be interesting to see how he does. I thought he was pretty decent in the last game. I mean, I think that it's fair to say you could tell he really was a left wing or a left mid converted back to a left back. I think defensively does scare me at times, but attacking, I think he's brilliant. So it's one of them ones.
Yeah, absolutely. Right. Whilst I'm just sorting my camera out in the background, we've got the team in front of us then. And so there we go then, mate. Hit me with the goalkeeper. I think we know, right?
Yeah, it's going to be Mark Travers, of course. I think there's been a bit of discussion, to say the least, about him. And I had this talk with my dad in the car recently, and I was thinking it's one of those ones because I really want to believe that he can do it and he can be good enough. But it was kind of the same thing when we had Artur Boric, and Artur Boric was a great shot stopper, but he doesn't command the box. And it was, no, you're right. And especially we are really bad from crosses and corners as it is. So to have a goalkeeper that isn't that presence in the box is slightly worrying. But yeah, I think that he needs to go on a loan, and we need to get someone in. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see. I think we will get a new keeper in, and a loan would do him a whole world of good.
Okay, on the right hand side, then are we just assuming that Jack Stacey's not going to be okay for now?
Yeah, we're going to say he's not. Yeah, but yeah, it's a bit of a late call on that one. So I think we're going to go with Smudger Smith. And yeah, hopefully he's got a good game in him. Yeah,
let's hope so. I mean, he would be on the left side other than that, but yeah, I mean, obviously, I think that's probably about right. The murmurings from the camp are that Stacey's not quite ready yet. So then let's go to the left side then, and I think this one probably speaks for itself, right?
Yeah, Lloyd Kelly for the left centre back. Brilliant.
Yes, yeah, but on on player number 4, so left back, are we going?
Oh, with, on left back. Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah. I'm going with Zamora then, of course.
Yeah, but yeah, you're right. It's going to be Lloyd Kelly. Just a quick word of what you thought about Lloyd Kelly last week, because I thought him and Mepham against West Brom, I think they did all right.
Yeah, I tweeted out about it. I thought they were really, really solid, and especially with the amount of criticism Mepham's received, I thought he was really, really good, and I think he's starting to get some confidence back. Fingers crossed. Last time I said that, he had a blunder the next game. Let's hope that's not a repeat. But yeah, they two look really, really solid, both of them. I always say if you don't notice your centre backs, they're probably doing a good job. And it's a real maturity I think you get with Lloyd Kelly for such a young player. I think he has. He's been captain, hasn't he? Which goes to show that Scott Parker believes he's got that maturity as a centre back as well. And yeah, one of our best players, I believe. And I think that with everyone fit, he gets in the team every time for me.
Yeah, excellent. So Chris Mepham is going to be alongside him, and he had a no-nonsense game against West Brom, but I thought he did all right.
Yeah, again, there was no real notable errors there at all, and there was one stage that he got given a horrible ball, and I thought, oh no, he's gonna mess this up. But yeah, no, he did brilliantly, head it back to the keeper, and really, really solid. And I think that those kind of games, they go unnoticed how good the centre backs are, and especially now with Mepham, he's received the criticism. The majority of Bournemouth fans are behind him, but there's going to be that scrutiny. And it's good that he can. Well, let's just hope. We've got to get behind him a lot, and he's quality. People forget he's still a good centre back. He's just had a notable blunders. But apart from that, he's been quality, in my opinion. He's done all the right stuff for me.
Brilliant stuff. Right, I'm having camera issues in the background now. So what we're going to do, I'm going to restart my browser. But in the meantime, let me show you why you should be subscribing to Back of the Net. So I've done a bit of a camera switch round. So I'm using this awful built-in camera instead now. Right. So we're back with Dan. And look, midfield-wise, I think we know how this is going to go. I mean, basically what we're saying is this is going to be a repeat of last week's side, isn't it?
Yeah, no, it does look that way. And I think that it's going to be the repeat, and it's one of those things when we have a full strength squad, when everyone's fit, we have a lot of options in midfield, and we have a lot of quality options. And now Kilkenny performing, and he's a youngster that's going to want to get game time. And yeah, he's been brilliant. I thought he's commanded the game really, really well. His balls have been really, really good. He's growing in confidence as the games go on. But yeah, it's going to be interesting to see, because Parker's looking to do. Well, he's played with those three. So is he going to have a designated sort of defensive midfielder? Or is he sort of going to have that three in the middle? And because hasn't really got someone holding particularly consistently like a Pearson or maybe like a Lerma. They kind of all got to do their defensive duties. I thought Marcondes was particularly good in the MK Dons game at sort of really being that number 8. He'd be push on, come back, make the challenges. And I thought he was really good. So I think Parker's clearly said to them, you've got to do your defensive duties as well. Even Billing, who loves to defend, as we all know. So, yeah, I think it's going to be those three.
Excellent. Okay, no problem at all. So let's put Kilkenny in there. And yeah, we got Marcondes and Billing in there as well. Let's just pop them there. Right, okay. Wide players. I mean, Junior Stanislas doesn't look as though he's going to be back. So it's going to be a repeat, isn't it? Brooks on the right, Anthony on the left. Yeah,
it is indeed. And I'm really happy. I think as much as we have got these injuries, and I think that when they do come back, it's going to feel like new signings. And it's really promising to see that even with these really, really young players, I think our average age of the squads when we played against West Brom was like 23. So many youngsters there. And yeah, as much as these players are injured, it gives the opportunity to some of our younger players, and it gives us that squad depth potentially. And yeah, Jaden Anthony, I've thought for a long time, has been fantastic and has deserved his opportunity, and now they don't really have a choice. But I think he's a real contender though when Stanislas is back. In my opinion, I think he's played brilliantly every single time. When he gets the ball, you're excited. This lovely in the MK Dons game, he beat 2 players a little sort of flip flat.
Yeah,
he's got some skills in the locker. He's great to watch. Yeah, and sort of like does remind me a little bit of Dan Juma in that sense. So he's been great, and we know Brooks. He's got the quality. It seems to be a thing that he sort of has a bit of a stinker for part of the game, and then he just pops up with a moment of magic. We want him to have a consistently good game, because we know he's got this quality. And instead of it just in spells, we'd like it to be consistently the whole game. But yeah, if he's on his game tomorrow, yeah, we're gonna hopefully have some fireworks there.
So there we go. That's then Dan's chosen team then from the top going down. And there we go. Do you agree with that? Let us know in the comments what you think. I'm pretty sure I'm okay with it. Now, if you are going to the game tomorrow, we would love to see you in one of the aforementioned pubs. If not, see you inside the ground. Dan, looking forward to seeing you tomorrow. Should be a good one.
Yeah, it'd be great. Second away game, as I said. And it'd be good to see some faces that I've only ever seen on a screen, which it'll be nice. Get the vlogging camera out as well. Good stuff.
Will do. Cool, man. Nice to see you. And take care. Have a safe journey up. I'll see you tomorrow.
You too. See you in a bit. Bye.
Nice one. Thank you very much. That was Dan, aka Giron. Make sure you find him on YouTube and subscribe to him. Superb videos. Right then, like I said, if you're going, great. We got a free-for-all outside the ground afterwards. So if you want to take part and just have your say, we'll upload it to YouTube as soon as we possibly can with some raw reaction outside the City ground after Cherries demolish Forest 5-0, or in my dreams that happens. But if you're not going, I'm sure you'll be able to catch the game somehow. And if you want to submit your views, then just grab a phone, film yourself in landscape if possible, not portrait, and then you can email it to fans@afcbpodcast.com. Alternatively, you can do it via WeTransfer as well. That would be the preferred way of doing it. Also, you can submit it via Telegram Messenger as well. So there you go. You could just go to t.me/AFCB podcast and your message will come straight through to us. By the way, then, gotta say thank you to everyone that has supported us by purchasing one of the Back of the Net mugs. I mean, yeah, they're beautiful. They got that red rim. They've got that red handle. It's got the Back of the Net logo on it. Lots of people have been asking how you can get one. Well, you can get one over on our Ko-fi page. Details at the bottom of the screen. It's afcbpodcast.com/coffee, and we will dispatch them within the next week. We really appreciate all the support we get for the channel. Also, Tom Jordan's just asked me to promote this once more. It's the Fantasy Premier League. You can do it on the FPL app, on Sky Bet, or on a gaffer. All the details are at the bottom of the screen. And what we'll also do, once again, is if you check our Twitter feed, twitter.com/AFCB podcast. Scroll down a couple of tweets ago, I think we put it, whereby you can enter the league and all the information is there. Plus, we're on Super 6 as well. So there you go. That's the code if you want to join the league. It doesn't matter if you join like a few games in. It's LDSPWE. Really looking forward to having you on there. Right. Finally, each and every video on Back of the Net is going to end with our Legends Wall. We really appreciate all the donations that we get through Super Chats and just the one-off donations that we get via our Ko-fi store. But monthly memberships, what that does is show your sustained support, and it shows an element of trust that you have in us to carry on with what we're doing with regular podcasts, regular second looks, and also vlogging the matches. What we do is we use your money to pay for StreamYard, which is the software that we're using now. Mics like this, we gave one to each of the main contributors, so Tiggs, Neil, Jeff, Tom, etc. And also the vlogging camera as well. Graphical software, web hosting, podcast hosting. Without your contributions, we really wouldn't be able to afford it. And people who think that YouTube makes a lot of money, think again, because it really doesn't. So at the end of every show, we've got the Legends Wall. And thank you so much for your contributions. Look, right, we're not going to keep you here all night. Thank you so much. Really hope to see you tomorrow and enjoy watching Premier League action again. Good luck to Brentford, who are playing Arsenal. But until tomorrow's video, which will be hopefully landing in the early evening, we'll see you then. Up the Cherries. Come on, you Reds.